Ever wanted to see a Karen's entire world collapse in one day? Smash that like button and tell me in the comments if you've ever had karma serve justice this fast. Because buckle up, this Tuesday turned into the most beautiful disaster I've ever witnessed. Tuesday morning, 8:47 a.m. You know that feeling when everything's going right and you're actually in a good mood for once? Yeah, that was me, cruising to work, humming along to some random pop song, thinking maybe I'd skip that third cup of coffee today. The universe, apparently, had other plans. I pull into the company parking lot, scanning for a decent spot. Office politics extend to parking spaces too. And trust me, you don't want to be the guy walking 10 minutes from the back lot when the boss notices you're fashionably late. Spotted a prime real estate piece, close to the entrance, no shopping carts nearby, perfect shade from the morning sun. I'm casually turning into this slice of parking heaven when suddenly, SCRECH. An SUV comes flying in from my right, clearly gunning for the same spot. I slam my brakes so hard my coffee cup does a little gymnastic routine before settling back down. Both hands death gripping the steering wheel. I take a deep breath and mutter, well, I thought that I need extra coffee this morning, but apparently there's so much adrenaline pumping through me right now that caffeine would be definitely redundant. I turn my head to get a look at this parking space predator, and oh, for the love of all things holy, this cannot be happening. Behind the wheel sits a middle-aged blonde woman chewing gum with the aggressive intensity of someone who's been personally wronged by the entire concept of jaw muscles. Her facial expression? Picture someone who believes the universe not only owes her everything, but should probably throw an interest and a formal apology letter. Look, I'm a reasonable guy. I believe in communication, conflict resolution, maybe even a little human decency on weekdays. So I roll down my window and offer what I thought was a perfectly diplomatic solution. Ma'am, you're creating a bit of an emergency situation here. Mind backing up? Karen, because of course her name was Karen, though I didn't know that delicious detail yet, turns to me with the kind of disgust usually reserved for people who put pineapple on pizza. You back up, she snaps. I saw this spot first. Now, I appreciate confidence, I really do. But there's confidence, and then there's whatever alternate reality this woman was living in. Ma'am, with all due respect, that's not exactly how parking works. I was already turning into this space. You know, that thrilling moment when you nearly transformed the side of my car into modern art? This spot is mine. She actually snorted, like a disgruntled pig in a designer SUV. But here's the thing. Even Karen couldn't argue with basic physics. My car was already halfway into the space, but practically kissing the parking lines. What happened next will forever be burned into my memory as the exact moment I realized some people shouldn't be allowed to operate motor vehicles, chew gum, or exist in public spaces simultaneously. Karen, faced with the crushing reality that she couldn't bend the laws of space and time to her entitled will, decided the most mature response would be to spit her gum at my car. You heard that right. She actually launched that piece of strawberry-flavored spite right onto my windshield and screamed, "This isn't over yet," before peeling out of there like she was auditioning for Fast and Furious. Karen's revenge, shouting something about entitled men as she disappeared into the morning traffic. I sat there for a solid 30 seconds, watching this pink glob of fury slowly sliding down my windshield, and sighed. At this rate, I'm going to give up coffee entirely. My nervous system can't handle both caffeine and whatever the hell just happened. Then, looking at my dashboard clock, I added, "Hold on, man. It's only Tuesday. You know what? Sometimes the universe tests you. Sometimes it throws you a curveball just to see how you'll handle it." I chose to handle it like a civilized human being. I parked my car, scraped Karen's DNA evidence off my windshield, and went to work. Because that's what normal, functioning adults do when faced with the wild animal behavior of suburban entitlement. 10 minutes into my morning routine, I'm settling into my desk when I remember, crap, I left that quarterly report in the car. The one I'd been fine-tuning at home last night. The one I actually needed for today's presentation. Perfect. Just perfect. So back to the parking lot I go, keys jingling, thinking maybe I could still salvage this Tuesday and turn it into something resembling productivity. I'm approaching my car, fishing around in my pocket for the keys, when I notice something that makes my stomach drop like a stone. A scratch. Not just any scratch, a beautiful, deliberate, keyed line running the entire length of my car's passenger side. Someone had taken their time with this masterpiece, really put some artistic effort into destroying my paint job. I exhale slowly, leaning against the car, and look up at the sky. Seriously? What kind of day is this turning into? I'm a good person. I helped an old lady cross the street just last week. I recycle. I don't cut in line at Starbucks. But complaining to the clouds wasn't going to fix my car or catch the vandal, so I grabbed my report and headed back inside. On my way back to the building, I make a strategic detour. Tony, our parking lot security guard, has been here longer than the coffee stains on the break room carpet. We've got that casual workplace friendship, you know, the kind where you actually remember each other's names and ask about weekend plans. Morning, Tony. I call out as I approach his little security booth kingdom. How's your Tuesday treating you so far? Tony looks up from his crossword puzzle, 7 letters for workplace nightmare. Probably starts with M and ends with Anager, and grins. Can't complain. Well, except for this weird woman earlier. Acting all high and mighty. Said she had some very important business here today. Attitude like she owned the whole building. My radar immediately starts pinging. Weird woman? What kind of weird are we talking about? Weird like forgot to wear matching shoes, or weird like might key someone's car in a fit of parking lot rage? Tony raises an eyebrow. More like the second one. What? I gesture toward the parking lot. Someone decided to redecorate my car with a key. Think we could check those security cameras of yours? You know, the ones that definitely work and aren't just for show to scare teenagers. Oh, those cameras definitely work, Tony says with a knowing smile. Come on, let's take a look at this morning's entertainment. We huddle around his monitor, which, thankfully, has better resolution than most crime documentaries, and scroll back to about 20 minutes after I parked. And there she is, in all her entitled glory. Karen, approaching my car like she's on some kind of mission from the patron saint of petty revenge. The camera captures everything in beautiful, prosecution-ready detail. Karen looking around to make sure no one's watching. Spoiler alert. Cameras are always watching, pulling out what appears to be a car key, and then, with the deliberate precision of a vandalism artist, dragging it along the entire side of my car. The scratch I discovered wasn't some random act of vehicle violence. It was premeditated automotive assault. Well, I'll be damned, Tony mutters, rewinding the footage. That woman's got some serious issues. Tony, my friend, could you do me a tiny favor? Call the police. I think someone needs a little life lesson about consequences. I'm smiling now, but it's not a particularly friendly smile. It's more like the smile you get when you realize karma might actually exist, and it's got excellent timing. Tony nods and reaches for his phone. Consider it done. This is going to be interesting. Oh, Tony, I say, heading back toward the building. I have a feeling this Tuesday is about to get a whole lot more interesting. I'm back at my desk, trying to focus on actual work stuff. You know, the boring things like productivity and professionalism. When my colleague Jake approaches with that look. You know the one. It's the, I need a favor, but I'm going to pretend it's no big deal expression. Hey, could you help me out with something? Jake asks, holding a manila folder like it contains state secrets. I've got this interview candidate, but Sarah's out sick and I could really use a second opinion. The candidates, well, she's a bit interesting, and I figure your expertise might help me figure out what's bugging me about her resume. I raise an eyebrow. Interesting how? Like speaks 7 languages and has a PhD in rocket science, interesting. Or more like claims to have invented the internet, interesting. More like she's acting strange and something about her background seems off, but I can't put my finger on it. He hands me the folder. What do you say? Could use your keen eye for spotting BS. I flip open the folder, and, I kid you not, staring back at me is a professional headshot of none other than gum-spitting, car-keying Karen herself. The name on the resume confirms it. Karen Whitman, applying for a senior management position in our department. The same department I happen to be one of the lead specialists in. Christmas came early this year. Oh, absolutely. I say, trying to contain my glee. I would be delighted to help you assess this candidate's qualifications. We head to conference room B, the one with the big windows and the intimidation factor of corporate furniture that costs more than most people's cars. Karen's already there, sitting like she owns the place, tapping her manicured nails on the table with the rhythm of someone who's never been told no in her entire life. Jake opens the door with his professional smile. Good afternoon again. I brought our department's chief specialist to help with the technical assessment. This way we can really evaluate your expertise. Finally, Karen starts to say, but then she turns around and sees me. The color drains from her face so fast I'm worried she might actually faint. All she can manage is a stunned I settle into my chair with the kind of calm confidence that comes from knowing you hold all the cards, and smile my most professional smile. Well then, shall we get started? I'm very interested to learn more about your qualifications. And so begins what I like to call the interview that karma scheduled. For the next 10 minutes, I watch Karen attempt to answer basic questions about our industry, while simultaneously trying to figure out if she's living in some kind of nightmare. It's like watching someone try to solve calculus while riding a unicycle. Technically possible, but painful for everyone involved. Can you tell me about your experience with project management? I ask, leaning back in my chair. Karen stumbles through an answer that makes about as much sense as a chocolate teapot. She's sweating now, and I can practically see the gears grinding in her head as she tries to figure out how to escape this situation. You seem a bit nervous, I observe with mock concern. Would you like some water? Or maybe some chewing gum? Karen's eyes flash with recognition and fury, but all she can manage through gritted teeth is, no thank you. Everything's fine. Jake's starting to catch on that something's happening here. Wait a minute. Do you two know each other? We had a wonderful opportunity to meet this morning in the parking lot, I explained casually, where she first spat chewing gum at my car and then decided to redecorate it with some impromptu scratch art. Jake's jaw drops. You did what? You spat gum at one of our senior manager's car, keyed it, and then came here for a job interview. It's not. I mean, that's not exactly. Karen's trying to backpedal, but she's already driven off the cliff of credibility. My phone buzzes under the table, a text from Tony. Police are here. Should I bring them up? I discreetly text back. Conference room B. Now, you know, Karen, I say, watching her squirm. When you do certain things, you should be prepared for certain consequences. 3 minutes later, there's a knock on the conference room door. Tony enters with 2 police officers, and Karen looks like she's about to meet her maker. Officers, I stand up, maintaining perfect professional composure. This is the woman who vandalized my car this morning. We have clear security footage of the incident. The police take their statements, and as they're leading Karen out, her head hanging in defeat, I call out, "Oh, and Karen? Just so you know, your name will now be blacklisted by every company in our industry network." Word travels fast in professional circles. The look of complete devastation on her face as the officers escort her out is something I'll treasure forever. Jake stares at the closed door. What a day. And it's only Tuesday, I reply. But wait, there's more. Around 3 p.m., our CEO approaches to me with the kind of smile that usually means either very good news or very bad news. Listen, he says, I heard about how you handled that situation today. Exposing someone who could have seriously damaged our company? That takes sharp instincts and good judgment. We need people like you in senior positions. Get ready. Next week you're moving to a new office and a new role in upper management. He claps me on the shoulder and walks away, leaving me standing there like I've just won the workplace lottery. I lean against the break room coffee machine and quietly say to myself, who would have thought that behaving like a decent human being could make Karen so useful? And sometimes karma really is faster than a BMW Karen. I pause, checking my watch, and add with a grin, and it's still only Tuesday. Drop a comment if you think Karen got what she deserved, and hit like if you believe in the power of Tuesday karma, because apparently, the universe has a sense of humor and perfect timing. Thank you for being with us. Please share in the comments where you are watching from and whether you liked everything, and see you next time.